Hey YouTube, my wife loves trimming back trees. I mean, she really loves it. The side effect of this is that there's always a lot of branches to be carted off to the bonfire, and the tractor's great for helping with this, but there's often so many offcuts to carry that they can't all fit in the carry-all in one trip. I did suggest that we could cut off less branches, but my wife thinks she came up with a better idea of fitting a removable rail to carry oil so that we could fit more on it without them falling off. So here's the build of that. My wife had a good idea. She actually has quite a few of them. She suggested that I make a little pipe or rack, for want of a better word, to go in the back of the carry-all on the tractor so that when we're stacking light things like branches where we've trimmed off trees, it'll hold more without them rolling off the back of the carry-all. So I had this bit of pipe in the scrap heap. I salvaged it off an old desk, I think. I've cut it at 90 degrees. I'm going to weld that together, then I'll go and cut another 90 degrees and weld it together, and it'll sit up in the couple of pipe receptacles already on the carry-all. So it'll sit there like that, and it will provide some means of stopping all the loose stuff from falling off. I might even put a netting over it. So I'll just grind this off and then see about welding. I've got this all squared up. I've clamped it down on one end and I've just got this resting on it on the other to hold it in place while I get some tacks on it. Alright, I'll turn him over and I'll get a weld on this other side. Woo! Okay, just before I did that, because that is twisted a bit. A big gap. Actually, not twisted. That's the way he's sitting. Got the work cut out for me there, filling that bit up. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Let's see how bad that fit is. I think if I get enough leverage on it, I can twist that in without losing my square. And a pair of vice grips might be the way to go. Yes, that's doable now. Check and make sure I didn't pull him out of square when I did that. A little bit. Okay, well, that's got the best of both worlds, I think. She's twisted in and it is still square. Gap's a little tiny bit bigger than I'd hoped. Nothing else, it'll be good practice. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of hard work. Come around here and get this bit, because there'll be an easier bit. Oh dear, that paint's on the nose. Had a little bit of trouble with that last tiny bit of gap, which was the widest piece of gap, but he'll do the trick. Now the idea of putting one side on first was I can use this to make sure I get the bevel cut on the right angle. Otherwise the pipe might have rolled a little bit and the bevel would be wrong. But by laying this flat on the chop saw table, I'll get my bevel cut at the right angle. Now just to explain this again. Chop saw set at the angle to cut across like this, because the short end of the bevel's got to be on this inside corner. By laying this piece down, I make sure that the bevels are both cut on exactly the same. Otherwise I might end up, if this was like this and I cut down here, then I'd end up with having one pipe facing this way and another that way. So that's the whole idea there. It's a bit awkward trying to measure this, get it cut in the right spot. I just took it out and tested it against the carry-all and it's perfect. Right, I've got this set up here, squared it up with a square, and I'll just measure it to make sure that it looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Now, trick is just going to be to tack him up there, so it's got a nice strong tack on. I can take him out and just test fit him before I finish welding him. I normally don't leave my machinist squares anywhere near where I'm welding, but it was TIG welding and I couldn't get that one out without upsetting the fit up. Okay, I took it out and did the test fit and it is very nice. So now it just remains to finish these welds. Now I've got to drill the bottom and put a couple of pins through it just so it doesn't go down too far, and that's it. That will do the trick. Okay, well this is the rail I'm going to put on the carry-all. Initially I was going to drill a couple of holes in these bottom of these pipes and just weld a little bolt through them just to stop them falling through the pipe receptacle that they fit in. And I was thinking about it on the way to work the other day, and I thought if I weld a piece of flat iron across here. Then my wife could make up a little netting sock, fits down here, stitch it along the bottom of the flat iron, and that'll help hold things in too, so smaller stuff won't fall off. Came down to do the job and I can't find any suitable flat iron. I wanted something fairly thin and the stuff I've got's way too thick. I'd have a real problem welding it to this. This is less than a millimetre, but looks about 0.9 of a millimetre, I'd say. So I'd have a real problem welding to this. But I did find this, and this is the base off an old pedestal fan. Now, it is really, really thin. I'm not even sure if I can weld it, but it happens to be the perfect length. So I thought I'd just have a go at it and see if I can weld it. If I keep all the heat onto the pipe, and not much heat at that, I should be in the race of getting it done. I'm going to put a tack on here first, and I'll tack the other side, go out and measure it, and if that works, well and good. Really, really thin material. I don't know if I can get the welder down low enough in amperage and keep a stable arc to do this. I've never welded anything this small before, but we'll give it a go. Now I've got a nice sharp point on the tungsten. The smallest rod I've got is 1.6 mil, that's a 1/16 of an inch. And I've got the amperage cranked down to about 30 amps. I'll just see how that goes. I did get a tack on it, but even that ate that small metal away. I'll give it a go on the other side, measure it, and then see if I can do a little bit better. I think I'll get that amperage down. Try 20 amps on it and see if we can hold a stable arc at that. Did the test fit and that's all good. So I see if we can get a better weld on this side than I did on the other. Well, that's a series of holes and a little bit of weld in between them. I don't know that there's any way I could do any better than that because it is so thin that as soon as I move the puddle out to try and melt it a bit, it blows a hole in it. And if I don't have the amperage up, I don't get any puddle on the thicker stuff. So yeah, need a lot more welding experience to do this job, I think. But since it's got really no weight to hold, it's just somewhere to put the netting, I'll keep going, and if it comes off, I'll have to find something else to use. At this low in amperage, the switch isn't stopping the arc very well. I hope it's just the amperage and not something going wrong with the welder. I've got it on 14, I'm letting go of the switch and the arc just keeps going and going and going. Oh well, as soon as it's got nothing to hold, I think with no weight on it, it just might possibly work okay. If it had any load to hold, I would reject it, cut it off and do it again. But since it's got no real load to hold, I'm going to give it a go and see if it manages to do the job. Well, it's held there, certainly not what I'd call good. Go down and finish off this side. I don't know if I'll do any better with it, but I'll give it a bit of a go. Okay, well, sort of stuck that bit there. Ugly as sin, but by the time it's painted and get the netting over it, probably won't see it. That's sitting in the carryall. Of course, the carryall's outside at the moment. My wife made the little mesh socket for it. You can see there just how much trouble I had welding that really, really thin stuff. I did get a little hole because it doesn't have any weight to hold. And my wife decided she wasn't going to sew underneath this anyway, so just leave it so it'll slip on and off. So there you have it, another job done. And there it is in use. My wife was right, as usual. We can fit a lot more on the carryall with the rail than we could without it. The branches we trim off aren't really all that heavy, they're just quite bulky. And here we see my wife showing her true colours. The tractor isn't going fast enough, so she's stopping to get it into high range and top gear. If you'd like to see more of my projects or reviews, you can go to my channel or browse my website. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click like, comment and subscribe. Until next time.